The call came in the middle of the night. A sharp ring shattered the silence, ripping me from a restless sleep. My heart pounded as I reached for my phone, hands trembling, mind still foggy from the weight of exhaustion. It was never good news. At this hour, some primal instinct told me this was going to be bad. I pressed the phone to my ear. Static. A breath. Then we did everything we could. I'm so sorry. My mother was dead. A car accident, they said. Quick, sudden, no chance of survival. No body to bury, just a closed casket and a box of ashes. They told me the impact had been too severe, that there was nothing left to see, nothing left of her. My breath hitched. My throat closed. It was as if the walls of my room had caved in, crushing me under the weight of words I couldn't process. Dead. My mother, the woman who raised me, who nagged me about my diet, who still texted me reminders to drink water. Gone. I didn't cry. Not immediately. I sat there, staring at the wall, phone still clutched in my hand, as if waiting for someone to call back and say, "Sorry, wrong number," but no one did. The funeral that broke me a week later, I stood in front of her casket. It was closed. It had to be. People whispered about how young she was, how unfair life could be. I felt their eyes on me, their pity like needles pressing into my skin. They murmured condolences, said things like, "She's in a better place now." Better place? No, her place was here. With me. She wasn't supposed to leave yet. I collapsed. In front of everyone. Right there at her funeral. Someone caught me. I don't remember who. My head spun, my ears rang, and the world blurred into a haze of grief. It didn't feel real. None of this felt real. I kept waiting for someone to shake me, to wake me up from this nightmare. But the nightmare was real, and it was just beginning. The hollow month's grief is strange. Some days it's loud, crashing through your chest like a wrecking ball. Other days, it's quiet, creeping in like a shadow, whispering that you'll never be whole again. I stopped answering my phone, stopped responding to texts. My world shrank, down to the four walls of my apartment. Every morning I woke up and reached for my phone, ready to text her something meaningless. Mom, should I try that new pasta recipe? Only to remember she wasn't there. I couldn't accept it. I refused to. My mind played tricks on me. Some nights I woke up in a cold sweat, swearing I heard her voice. A whisper. A laugh. I convinced myself it was just grief. Just my brain struggling to let go. But deep down, something felt off. Something wasn't right. People say closure comes with time, that grief fades. But as the months passed, something gnawed at me. Her ashes sat on my shelf, yet she felt closer than ever. I started dreaming of her, not memories, but something else. In my dreams, she wasn't gone. She was calling for me, but I could never see her face. I tried to move on, I really did, but little things didn't add up. The hospital had been vague about details. No one saw her body before the cremation. Her phone, her lifeline, had vanished. It didn't make sense. But what was I supposed to do? Call up the hospital and demand proof? Accuse them of lying? So I buried the thoughts. Swallowed them like pills and told myself to move forward. Until the night my best friend sent me a link that ripped my world apart. One night my phone buzzed. A text from my best friend. "Dude, is this your mom?" I frowned, rubbing the exhaustion from my eyes. Then she sent a link. I hesitated. Something about this felt wrong. My stomach twisted as I tapped the screen. The page loaded, and my heart stopped. A video, a woman, same green eyes, same dimples, same scar on her collarbone, the one she got from a kitchen accident when I was 10. No, it wasn't possible because my mother was dead. And yet, there she was, laughing, flirting. On OnlyFans, I dropped my phone like it had burned me, and my breath came in short gasps, my vision blurred. I scrambled to grab it again, my fingers shaking as I scrolled through the page. More videos, more posts, new posts, dated after her death. She wasn't just alive. She had been alive this whole time. I couldn't breathe. The room felt smaller. The walls were closing in. My hands went cold, my ears ringing with a deafening static. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Everything, the funeral, the grief, the night spent crying over her ashes, it was all a lie. She had faked her death, and for what? Why? Why? My mind spiraled. My stomach twisted into a painful knot. Had she planned this all along? The accident? The closed casket? The missing body? It had all been part of some twisted game, and I had fallen for it. But nothing could have prepared me for what came next. Because as I scrolled further, I saw something that made my blood run cold. She wasn't just some anonymous figure online. She was using her real name. She wanted to be found, and that meant only one thing. This wasn't a mistake. She knew. I would see it. She wanted me to know. But why? And what the hell was I supposed to do now? It started as a slow, creeping nausea, twisting in my gut that turned my blood to ice. My fingers were stiff, barely obeying me as I scrolled through the page, through the endless stream of photos and videos. Every blink felt like a glitch in reality, like my brain was rejecting what my eyes were feeding it, a different name, a new persona. But the bio? Just a single mom trying to make ends meet. That's when my heart stopped. My throat closed. A horrible familiar laugh from one of the videos. My vision blurred. This wasn't some sick joke. It wasn't a deepfake. It was her. I forced myself to breathe, but the air felt thick and wrong. I clicked on another post, my hands clammy against my phone screen. There she was again, smiling, teasing the camera, same voice, same dimples, that used to crinkle when she kissed my forehead goodnight. I shut my eyes, trying to erase it, trying to make sense of it. But the truth was staring back at me, unblinking. She wasn't dead. She wasn't buried in that casket. She was here, alive, thriving, selling lies while I mourned her like a fool. Scrambled to my desk, yanking open drawers, throwing papers aside. My pulse was a deafening roar in my ears. I needed proof. I needed more than just a profile. My hands found what I was looking for, her old bank statements. I flipped through them with shaking fingers, scanning the dates, the numbers, and then a withdrawal. 2 weeks after her death, my stomach twisted. My breath came in sharp gasps. I checked again and again. It was real. It was undeniable. The numbers didn't lie.
Ow.
The account was still active, still moving. She wasn't. Just alive. She was living. No. I shoved back from my desk, chair scraping against the floor. My skin was clammy, drenched in cold sweat. My knees felt weak. My mind was spinning, slamming into dead ends. Every memory of her funeral, her casket. The mourners, was it all a lie? Was I grieving a ghost? I grabbed my phone and called her number. It rang. My breath hitched. Then voicemail. "Hey, it's me. Leave a message, and I'll get back to you." It was her voice. Her voice, still there, still unchanged, as if she'd just stepped out to run errands, as if she hadn't shattered my entire existence. I dropped my phone like it burned me. The room spun. My chest ached like someone had taken a hammer to it. This was beyond betrayal. This was beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I had spent months drowning in grief, sleepless nights, endless breakdowns, the funeral, the condolences, the hollow, aching emptiness. And all this time, she was out there, breathing, smiling, making money off my pain. My knees gave out. I sank to the floor, the weight of reality pressing down on me like an avalanche. The world had cracked open, and I was free-falling into something dark and endless. She was alive, and she had let me believe she was dead. For what? For money? For this? My fingers hovered over the screen, slick with sweat. The number stared back. At me, unassuming, ordinary. But it wasn't. It was tied to her account. To her, my mother, who was supposed to be dead. My breath was shallow. my chest tight. A war raged in my mind. Dial it. Don't dial it. Let it go. No, no, no. Press call. My thumb moved on its own. The ringing started. One tone. My heartbeat slammed against. My ribs. Two tones. A lump crawled up my throat, choking me from the inside. 3. What if it wasn't her? What if this was all some sick misunderstanding? A scammer using her pictures, her voice, her name for, or worse. What if it was her? What if she answered? What if I had to hear the truth? Then a soft click, and a voice I hadn't heard in months. A voice that had been buried under 6 feet of dirt, sealed in a coffin, mourned in a funeral home filled with weeping relatives. Hello? The world stopped. My skin turned to ice. My veins filled with static. The phone nearly slipped from my grasp. My lips parted, but no words came out. My brain screamed at me, my body frozen in place. It was her. Not a recording, not a hallucination, not a dream. She was real, alive. Breathing on the other end of the line, I forced air into my lungs, swallowing the terror that clawed at my throat. Mom, a sharp inhale, a sound so small, but it cut through me like a blade. Then a click. The line went dead. I yanked the phone from my ear. Staring at the screen, my pulse a wild, uncontrollable thing. My mind was screaming, reeling, slamming into walls of disbelief and horror. She hung up. She didn't ask who it was. She didn't say my name. She didn't explain. She just disappeared. Again, a cold, unbearable realization slithered through my spine. She knew it was me, and she ran. I didn't move. Couldn't. The phone was still pressed against my ear, but the call was long gone, replaced by an empty, lifeless silence, a silence that felt heavier than death itself. My mind refused to process it. My body refused to react. I was stuck, suspended, between reality and nightmare, floating in a limbo I never asked to be in. She was alive. She had faked everything. The accident, the funeral, the grief she let me drown in. Every whispered condolence, every sleepless night, every moment I spent tearing myself apart, it was all for nothing. She had let me break while she sat behind a screen, selling a version of herself to strangers. And not once did she think to stop. The bile rose in my throat. My fingers curled into fists, nails digging into my palms so hard they might have drawn blood. My breath came in ragged, uneven gasps, like my body was trying to reject the truth, force it out of my system before it destroyed me. But the truth was already inside me, poisoning every part of me. And the worst part, she didn't even try to hide it. No secret identity, no attempt to erase her tracks, no effort to shield me from this monstrous betrayal, because she didn't care. She never cared. She didn't care that I'd cried myself to sleep every night, that I'd isolated myself from the world, unable to function through the weight of her death, that I had hated myself for not being able to save her, for not being there in her final moments. She let me suffer, and then she laughed, flirted, paraded herself in front of cameras like she hadn't just shattered my world into 1,000 jagged pieces. I stared at the screen, my hands trembling. The OnlyFans page was still open. Her page, her profile. The woman who had raised me, who had kissed my scraped knees, who had whispered bedtime stories into my ear, gone. Dead. Replaced by someone I didn't recognize. No, not replaced. This had always been her, and I had been blind. A sob ripped through me, but I swallowed it down. No more tears, no more grief. If she could throw me away so easily, if she could watch me drown and not even flinch, then she didn't deserve my sorrow. She deserved my rage. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I didn't know what I was going to do yet, didn't have a plan. But one thing was certain. I was done being her fool. I was going to expose her. I was going to end this nightmare, one way or another.